Hello everybody. It seems that Action Bronson teamed up with The Alchemist to create Lamb Over Rice, which honestly does sound kind of delicious. Still, it's a delicious album, Lamb Over Rice. It's a project created by, as we said, Action Bronson and The Alchemist. This is the Headspace podcast, the show where we break down albums like that track by track, give our thoughts and opinions on every single song. My name is Holden, Stephan, Roy.
And my name is Chris Chrome. What's up, guys?
And today I'll be discussing this album. I feel like I'm being redundant, so let's get into it. This is the kind of show it is. We just talk about them. We listen to a bunch of albums, and as they come out, and since they're new, we wait about a day, we sleep on it, and then we get to talking about it. And that's where we're at. This is, just to be clear, the fourth one in a row that we're recording today of EP weekend, because all of these projects that we talked about were 8 songs or less, making it kind of easy to bang out a whole bunch. But, a little tired, but we're going to get through it. We're going to enjoy this amazing experience that will go on together. And before we get into it, we care a lot about your comments. Honestly, reading the comments on the last Action Bronson review that we did, where we kind of got a better idea for the kind of artist he is, helped me to frame my mind to consume this project in a more enjoyable kind of way. On that note, we're going to get into it real quick, but before we do, special thanks to the patrons is Milka Dempsey, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Coney Sparks. They're dope.
Thank you.
They support what we do. We'll touch on that at the end of the episode. And on that note, as we get into it, and excuse Chris's loud-ass laptop, what is the project that we are talking about today?
So for the fourth bonus review today on Headspace Podcast, we went with Action Bronson's featuring The Alchemist project, Lamb Over Rice.
Featuring The Alchemist. The Alchemist.
Well, it's by Action Bronson and The Alchemist on Spotify.
It's like an X, not featuring. Featuring implies like...
The X is the featuring. It's
no,
like
it's not
Holden,
featuring.
HSR X Chris Chrome.
That would mean collaborative artist equally. Featuring implies like a subservience, as in like when I put you on my album, you were the featured artist, but it wasn't your album, it wasn't your song, you were just like the guest on my song. In this case, it is collectively their album, with The Alchemist being the music side of it, creating the production elements. And let's be real, Alchemist is fucking fire. I really like it, and I like his Twitter handle where it's Alchemist type beat, and it cracks me up every time I see it. Action Bronson, he's the chef slash rapper slash guy who beefed with Ghostface that one time, and that's a lot. Okay, so like this is the part of the show where we like to contextualize our familiarity with the artist, because it's fair to y'all watching it to know how we come into it. And if you've been an Action Bronson fan for like 8 years, if you've been an Alchemist fan for a minute, you're gonna feel the way. Maybe you've been excited for this, maybe you've been waiting on the edge of your seat for this, maybe you couldn't care less and you're just clicking through because of whatever. Maybe it's your first Action Bronson project. All these things are going to impact how you interpret the album. So with that, Action Bronson is somebody I guess I gave my first real attempt to listen to at the BlueStacks 3000 or 3K project when we reviewed that very early on in this show, and it was maybe not a fine review in terms of quality of our performance due to how ignorant we were towards what he does in terms of rhyming, and sometimes goofy shit we didn't understand it. Okay, it's like it went over our head.
First off, it's Blue Chip 7000.
Whatever, I was close. I was off by 4K.
I'm just gonna make sure we get the names right.
Price is Right rules. I'm still in the game. And so, like, for me, it was kind of like, okay, we listened to him, and like I knew a bit about who he was. I love his beard. I'm a big fan of it. I like his hair, huge fan of it, and I like his general presence, but I'll be honest, I did not understand him, and I watched his shit and it was like, that was fucking weird, especially that music video with like the giant stripper who shows up or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just like, what the fuck am I seeing? Now I get it, and it's fucking hilarious, but like back then I was a little dumb. So coming into this, I guess I was expecting some lyrics, like just random bars, just kind of selling an attitude. In a lot of ways, a goofy Griselda is what I'm kind of expecting coming into this, because he's a little goofy. But I like him, man. He hustles so hard. He does all these things that he loves, and I like the fact that he's like Action Bronson. I mean, he's not afraid to venture beyond just the label of being a rapper. He's an unapologetic weed enthusiast. He has multiple cooking shows. Like, he's a fascinating guy, all things considered. Alchemist, every time I hear the dude do a beat, it's great. I mean, I don't have a lot more to say. I'm excited when I see his name on a project. That's about as far as I can go with Alchemist. I don't know about you. You want to add your little perception?
I found Action Bronson way back in the day through one of my friends. He was hyping him up. Never really got into him, but I did kind of know that the way he was presented to me was like, oh, he's like a chef rapper and he raps about food. I was like, okay, I'll check him out. Then eventually we did that review on Blue Chip 7000. And then I kind of fell off.
Can we just say that track, just let me breathe for a minute. Do, 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 do. That's like my favorite. That's one of my favorite songs since we've done this review. Every time that comes on, I guess. If I could just come up with a dance to this song, basic bitches gonna dance to it. Basic bitches gonna dance to it. I don't know, man. I really like Let Me Breathe by Action Bronson. If I really want to be honest, that song has, when it comes on, I let it play through and it makes me happy, and the beat is just fire.
Nice. I have been watching some of the episodes of his like Action Bronson and Friends with the Alchemist thing. It's a really kind of like good little 45 minutes to kill on YouTube. It's funny. They do some really crazy
I watched
things.
One of it. It looks like you got to be high to watch it.
Yeah. And just seeing how Action Bronson and the Alchemist kind of get along together and they just really have so much fun. I felt like I kind of understood what we're going to be getting from this project just because I've been watching those things before I even came to this. And yeah, so I'm actually really excited. That's pretty much it.
I like the cover, which looks like a painting, and it just looks like one. And I think it's cool because we were commenting on how boring Tech Nine's cover is and how simple Chris Calico's cover is. I mean, let's be real. Conway the Machine, who we've recorded the review for, but there's a good chance this review comes out first. His cover was also just kind of like whatever they do, where they modify like iconic movie shots. But this looks cool because it looks like somebody actually painted something and like put some effort into like creating an experience that like exists simply for this cover. Or they bought some shit online. I don't really know. I really like it. I feel like it kind of looks like a grill. It kind of looks like some shit's going on, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it follows suit the theme from his last project, White Bronco, where it's also kind of painted and designed as well. Maybe it's a thing he's doing, but I do see some type of relation in that. I like how you said it kind of looks like a grill. Lamb over rice, cooking lamb on the grill, the fire in the background, the green as the mesh, and the white as, I guess, you call it the rice or whatever meat lamb you want to call it. So that was pretty cool as well. But it sure is interesting. I don't really know I like to really know what goes through artists' minds when they build their album covers and they select things like this, like just some simple abstract type of art, what it really relates to them and how they feel about it. That's what I'm more interested in, because to me it just seems like a painting overall, like without going deep into it. If somebody were to be like, oh, check out this album,
it kind of looks like there's a Grim Reaper, like a suit, like one of those, a silhouette against the wall. It's nice.
It is nice. There's a lot. I guess if you
I like
stare
the
at
title,
it long enough.
because lamb over rice is just delicious, but it's not like a common kind of delicious. It's just one of those delicious you hope somebody else makes for you.
I've had lamb once.
It's delicious. I like lamb a lot. I get ground lamb when I get myself over to the store that sells it. It's not like a common commodity up in Montreal, but I quite enjoy it. It's my favorite kind of ground meat, we'll say. Anyway, Lamb Over Rice is a great title, and it's just made me hungry all day thinking about it, and I like it. It fits.
Yeah, I do think it also fits.
I didn't even realize he dropped a project last year. I learned that just today and now. Anyway, the first song is apparently called DMTri, as in DMTri, DMTri.
I first read it, DMTri.
That's because on Spotify it's got little letters, but everywhere else it's got capital letters. DMTri. I like this track a lot. I'll be honest, I could see how a couple years ago I might have been maybe not as into this, but like Alchemist beat is ridiculous. It's got this crazy distinct vibe to it that just kind of sucks you in.
Mm-hmm.
It's intoxicating.
That head bopping feel that it creates is really nice.
You can just like loop it over again and again and again, and I'm not sure what samples he uses or how he created this, but it ends up just feeling like this great old school gritty feel. Like if I compare the mixing and production on this album by comparison to BlueStacks 7K, that was so clean and polished, and this has just got this grittiness. I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling like gritty is the move lately and I like it. But
You keep calling it BlueStacks.
I don't care.
Okay.
Blue chips. That's what I mean to say. BlueStacks is a computer program that emulates Android. I like how he just kind of starts off with knock it at the box, Bronson. Like he's just fucking hyping himself up. He's ready to go. And then, bitch, I'm a superhero. I wasn't born with De Niro. Somehow I turned to De Niro. Just give me one shot at the lead role. You'll be amazed like the first time you seen snow. Oh, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of flossy, but in a way that is bars, like rhyming how he has no money, De Niro, with De Niro being Robert De Niro, and then following that up with the lead role, like, yeah, he's going to be an amazing in that. And the truth is, if you've ever taken a dog for a walk during their first snowfall, there's nothing like the joy of a dog discovering snow. It's amazing. So, like, the first time you've seen snow really connects, you know? Down in Georgia on the Peach Grove. I mean, I don't know how he got there in his mind. It's the opposite of snow, but it kind of makes sense. Shoots 95% from the free throw, 60 from the field, strain sex appeal, the lone gunman muffled the shotty with an old onion. This no fun, never low funds, man, fucking crazy, If you are looking for a rhyme or a reason, it's probably not there. It's just kind of a stream of consciousness, like he's almost freestyling this shit out. Like these are just the thoughts, and if you look at it from a flow perspective, he rhymes it properly. It's almost like a bunch of one-liners thrown together, creating this kind of fun, goofy experience where you never really know what's gonna come next. Like,
well, it kind of ties into the name of the song. I have never tried DMT, never done it either.
Neither.
But I have some friends who have tried it. I have had conversations about kind of like what does it do and how does it affect you.
Everybody's watched the Joe Rogan podcast.
That as well. And from what I understand of it, the way he's flowing and kind of just soaring through the song, and I don't mean soaring like rapidly tearing it up, I just mean like floating through and kind of just this flow of consciousness and just free writing, and it kind of sounds like what my friends have told me of a DMT trip, of how they just kind of flow through this like weird hallucination-ish type of venture vision thing, whatever. And I think that's what's really cool about it. In this like really freestyle-esque way, it really suits this whole like theme of
it's
this
just
track.
wavy. Like I'm about to tat a skull on my skull hanging from the snake's mouth coming out of pyramid. And you're like, okay, that's a cool tattoo. Now I'm at the steakhouse getting dirty looks. Guess I should have wore a different shirt.
But like, if you think about it, right? Imagine being super fucked up on drugs and just living an everyday life. Like you kind of clock in and clock out. Like, oh, one moment I'm at here and I'm seeing dragons, and then suddenly I'm at a McDonald's and I'm ordering a burger. But it's like in your real life, you're probably moving around, going on missions or whatever it is.
I mean, I get that. I get that that's what's being conveyed. I just think it's fucking funny a little bit.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he just kind of rolls it out. Like at the end, my grandparents learned English watching Martin. He just like fucking nails it back. Like, yo, they came in, they learned English on the TV. You know, I don't really know what the fuck Martin means, to be honest. I wasn't sure which Martin it was. But I just kind of like the fact that it's like, yo, my grandparents came in, now here I am popping. And he just fucking kills it. And then there's that little cut to them discussing some shit that like cuts between every song. It was like little cuts of a conversation, which is apparently from his friend's show on YouTube. I don't really know. I thought that was fine. I could live without the little conversations between the songs, but otherwise I was really, really blown away by this song. I thought it was like such a strong start to the album. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like pushing it on my elliptical, and because lately I do a lot of my reviewing on the elliptical because it's a good double up of my time, and I just found myself just being like enamored with just how well this song kind of flows. It's like it's got that vibe where his voice comes off almost like an instrument, just kind of layering down these sick rhymes over this sick beat. And it's not necessarily about following along this crazy emotional song experience. It's more like some shit to throw on when you want an elliptical just to bop your fucking head to and vibe. So I think I hit it in the perfect environment to get like kind of groovy with it. And I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I was truly impressed with this track.
Some other kind of just rhymes I like were Dirty Mountain Tiger, to the face, better strap up. I'm about to see space. As I entered, I felt everything was centered. Oh shit, I think I'm back at the placenta, but then I woke up in the Nissan Sentra.
Oh, because mine's fucked.
But again, like, so I had a conversation, and this is where it kind of set me off. I did have a conversation with some of my friends who've taken this and who are kind of in the chemical world, and yeah, one of my friends explained to me that like taking DMT is kind of like dying and coming back to life in a way. Like you kind of see your whole life kind of flash, or this image of what your life would be, and then you die, which is really interesting how with naming the song DMTri, and then also kind of explaining how like he's back in the placenta and you're kind of going through this real wavy thing. I really thought that this was like, did he just take DMT and make a track? Like that's fucking cool.
It is kind of what Alchemist implies with his tweet when he goes, the first verse you will hear on Action Bronson Lamb Over Rice is a spiritual experience, hashtag capital DMTri. Right. You know, like, I think it's kind of what happened, and I think it's pretty fucking dope.
And it is dope. I also gave it a 4.5 on 5.
Anyway, following up with Russian names, Sven. Sven is the next track. Matt, Alchemist does it again. Now, let's be clear. As much as Action Bronson is dope, I'm going to say it right now. I think Alchemist is the true star of this project. I think his beats are fucking riveting, intoxicating, and they just work. Now, don't get me wrong. Action Bronson's also a star of the project, and what he does is fucking ill. Like, it's not bad at all. Like, it's truly enjoyable. But seriously, the beats just got me to a point where when I was listening, I didn't find I cared as much about Action Bronson's words as much as just the overall flow and sound, and I just thought it was really cool. Plus, he's kind of like buried a bit into the mix of these tracks, which I really like because it has this cool effect where it really does let Alchemist almost shine a little bit more.
I like when they do that nicely, though, when they really find a nice medium for the vocals and the instrumental to mix. Sometimes I feel like certain, I guess, mixes or mastering or production, it's like a little bit too loud or a bit too low, and it just doesn't really fit right. But here, you really can tell that they like are bros in a sense. Like they kind of just know where to hit, how to do it. Like I feel like Alchemist just comes in, he's like, yo, Bronson, I got a track. Da-da-da-da-da. And then Action's just like, alright, let me like roll up or something. Boom. And he just flows on it. And it's like, you don't even have to tell him when to hit a certain switch up or a certain type of flow change. It's like he just knows. And I like that type of chemistry between artists. I really like how they connect on this.
I mean, I bet a lot of that is kind of the finalizing process, but the effect and the way they bounce off each other is well. Like, I'm going to assume that there was a beat and he laid down the vocals and then they went back and finessed it is what I'm trying to say.
Right, but it's still like I just like how they...
No, I mean, it totally sounds like they're homies, they're a squad, they're in the same kind of wavelength, like they were in true cohesion creating this project. I'll give it to you. And I like the way he starts it with like, yo, you see my story got a strange plot. 8 shots now behind the camera. I meant behind the hammer. Leaving peace like a dying grandma. Down my hair blonde. A double shotty like a bear's arm. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I think it's just a lot of a description, like double shotty like a bear's arm, double barrel shotgun, big as a bear's arm.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
I guess like he's saying
imagery.
And I guess he's trying to convey that his life is kind of weird in the same way. Like, you know, he got 8 shots, like he's from behind the camera because they're doing all this shit. But he actually meant, nah, I'm street, like behind a hammer, ready to go. And, you know, the mention money and my eyebrows lift up. The 5-pound fist leave you cut up quicker than butter. And I like that, how like he's like, I want money. And then right the next line, it's like, oh, I'm gonna knock you out like my fists are fucking knives, because I'm really just tough like that.
I like the line where he goes, throw some acid on your cheek, now your art scars over my heart.
That was pretty good, eh? Because your face gets all fucked up like abstract art. That's a great line.
I did enjoy that, but I also like how it's like, unless he spits a verse on you or like is added to your thing, you ain't shit. Like you ain't even art unless he's around. He needs to touch you like the Midas touch to make you special.
Yeah, and I mean, I just feel like this track comes through again with that like flow, and he's just got this constant dope ass bright. Like Action Bronson's another dude that sells confidence with like absolute magnificence, and I really really enjoy it. But it's also because he's so almost ludicrous with it. Like I bet he looks in the mirror and goes, I'll make more money if I'm kind of ridiculous. So he does it.
Question. In an era where like mental health and all this stuff is a thing, right? How do you feel about him telling people to hang themselves?
I mean, what he's trying to point out, his health is wealth, but wealth by the fancy belt's good. It's even easier to hang yourself. So if you take a look at the lyric,
right,
it almost implies that the vapid pursuit of wealth in and of itself leaves you isolated and alone.
Interesting.
Making a social commentary. I frankly don't give a shit about people making a big noise about, like, if you read into that and you're like, oh, Action Bronson's telling depressed kids to kill themselves, I'm going to say that you're kind of missing the point of what he's trying to do with the bar. He's just trying to make this, like, shocking satirical point. I don't know. I like the chorus. You ain't shit, motherfucker. You need to hang yourself. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. At this point, he carries it further, where he's talking about, you know, fake-ass grandiose people, especially people who probably measure themselves by just money value. You got to imagine the amount of fake executives and other such types that surround Action Bronson on a regular basis. He's probably dealing with the types of people where they really do buy these fancy belts. They really do have all this wealth. And there is the idea that the measure of health is wealth. So if you keep yourself healthy and shit, and you look at Action Bronson, and health is probably not the first word that pops into your mind, regardless of the fact that he's got wealth. So he's also probably playing up on the fact that people will prejudge him or come up with this. So if you're going to come at him in a certain way, fuck it. If you're going to be that kind of pretentious, fuck it. You need to hang yourself. So it's just kind of like a fuck you. And I really like it. I don't know, and then he just kind of flosses again. The whips it India style, like kindergarten student. I'm only part human, trying to get paid, but like Mark Cuban, spark the Cuban. You know, it just flows through.
I like that, and I am taking the genius annotation from here, but it actually is really interesting. So thank you to Frank Venti, said for the line, the whip sit Indian style like kindergarten students. He quotes, he goes, sitting Indian style means to cross your legs. Children in school will be taught to sit Indian style while sitting on the floor. This is to keep them composed and calm. Bronson here is saying that he keeps his car parked in one place in order to keep it composed and fresh, which is fucking nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Nil's response to that in the genius annotation. Just means the ride is low. Dope, because that's probably what it means. It's a low ride because you're sitting low.
Nice.
I'm only part human, trying to get paid like Mark Cuban, who's rich. Spark the Cuban because it has marijuana and shit in it. Double park the Buick because it rhymes. What'd you do to beef? Stew it. That's what he does to beef. He stews that beef. And he's half Jewish. My man. I'm with you right there. I'm a Jew crew right up in here.
I like this. I'm a star like good homework.
Because good homework gets you stars.
That really just sat with me. I was like, did he really just say that?
He did. And then the skull and crossbone on a low shirt, chrome hearse, the skulls burst because the work was a 10, the limo driver named Sven, piece to kill a Ben. I'm like, I don't really know where the fuck you're going with it, but I really like it. Like, it's just really fucking fun to flow to this shit.
But I feel like, okay, so I think there's a part of, like, just him being real, right? Like, he's kind of acknowledging he's got money. He's kind of acknowledging that he's trying to still succeed and smoke good or whatnot. And I think it's just a lot of that. Like,
I think this might just be he did more DMT and he's flowing. Like, I mean, it just sounds like dude is fucking cracked out of his
fucking album.
Yeah, and I think it's fine. Like, it's just the stream of consciousness. Like, it just keeps bouncing idea to idea.
I like how he switched up to the Spanish.
Like, Dominican ho with a culo, me pregunto te quién son, ella me dice tuyo. And I'm known to be hopping up the two-door. When your man get called, you better be ready for sure. Because these motherfuckers ain't playing. These motherfuckers be spraying. Now you sleeping with the earth. Okay. I mean, it's just pretty blunt. It's pretty dope. It's just pretty fire to listen to. And then, yeah, bam, bam, on the outro. And I just feel like the track is fire because it just works, because Alchemist made it dope, because Bronson did his thing. And honestly, it's a 4.75. I thought it was fucking enjoyable. It was super great to listen to.
I gave this a 4.2. I do like how they flow together, because this song actually flows very nicely into the next one.
Yeah. And the next track that we're going to be talking about, that, as we said, Sven flows nicely into, is called Tearaway Short. I feel like at this point in the project, we're going to get a lot of the same thing because this is the kind of album it's going to be. And I say that in the best possible way because when you're vibing to this project, it's okay. They're like, you can tell that these songs are not necessarily meant to be commercial. This project's meant to be like an experience that it's its own thing. I mean, this song's not even 2 minutes long. It just sounds like Action came in straight up. I fucking tested positive for GH twice. I was like, is that GHB? I couldn't figure out like if that's what he meant. I'm like, fucking
I
eh?
think that's what
He's
it would
just
be.
like, I'm really fucked up. So he's starting it up. Fuck it, we out of here. Like, he's like, I'm so wrecked. Let go. The Falcon Feather 250 got me looking like Lorenzo Lamas, long trench shoddy in it, at least I'm honest. And I'm like, okay. And he just kind of flows through and he's like, I got the gun, at least I'm being honest with you. And then he just flows through another verse that's very much in the same lane that we're getting. I mean, I know, Chris, you want to tell us about your favorite line.
Which one?
Turn the wheel like a new leaf, I'll have your mother naked cooking still beef.
That's not my favorite line.
I heard you singing it before.
Well, yeah. I like the song. I think it's interesting. Going through this, I think there's a lot with connections of the titles and stuff. So the song's called Tearaway Shorts. And, right, you get a picture of, like, and tear them away, right? It's kind of how the song kind of felt, though. Like, it just came in,
Makes
went
me
through,
picture a
and
strip
just...
club and the guy tearing off some shirts.
I mean, right, but even, like, that's kind of how I
just
felt
picture
with
Action
this.
Bronson doing it.
Right, but that's how I felt with this. Is like he just came in, tore it up, and he's gone. And then the way they end it with trousers, you tear away your shorts, you're standing in your trousers. Like there's a lot of connections
trousers
there.
rhymes with yowzers.
And I really just like this kind of just this vibe we're on. Yeah. What I do. No, I don't have anything else to say.
No,
What
I mean, it's like a pretty much, it's a little shortcut. He comes through. I like the way he ends it with on some MacGyver shit while it's moving, driving to the forest to chill with bitches that play ball, shoot dice, play the rooftops on cool nights, rocking some new flights, box cutters, carriers. I'll marry ya, black 740, I'll be the chariot, I'm arrogant. So really what he comes in is if you focus in on how well he rhymes everything, it's just sublime. Like, this is what it is. It's not necessarily about saying the most substantial shit. It's about rhyming shit in a substantial way. And in that regard, I think Action Bronson completely slays it. I think this song is a little bit less enjoyable because the beat hit a little less. Cause it's like the beat is make or break on this project. Now, not to say Alchemist beats aren't like of great quality. This is just saying the preference of compared to the last beat, that one I liked a lot more than this one. Still, we're talking great, above average shit, 4.35 on 5.
I do like long trench shoddy in it, at least I'm honest. 6 flips into the whip like a Russian gymnast. The tearaway shorts, it's back to business. Catch me up at Caesar's Palace, racking up, take the paper in the morning, cop a bacon truck, yep. Now, reason why I like that is because kind of gives us this kind of like imagery of like, he can have fun, he can be your chef, he can cook it up if he has to, but at any moment, if you're gonna talk business, he kind of switches up into like business mode, and that's like the image I get with the tearaway shorts, kind of like Superman, right? Like Clark Kent, and then boom, turn into Superman, come to save the day. It's kind of the same thing. Like, I feel like he's implying like we can have fun, we can enjoy our lives, we can talk all this shit, but if we're gonna get to it, we gonna get to it, and I'm ready all the time. So that's something I really did
definitely
enjoy.
like fits into what he's been putting out the whole way through, like his general attitude. And oh yeah, I guess we can flow into the next
4.2.
the next track on this album, which is another shorty. It's a 2-minute 20-second accoutrement to this album.
See what you did there.
I
wanted to comment on the way that Alchemist is saying filet mignon and mignette. It's just so funny. Like mignon, like he just, you can tell they're having fun. And I think that's what I really like about this project is that it doesn't sound like it's supposed to be like a full-length seriousness. It's supposed to be message, heavy hitting. It's really just like put it on, enjoy it, and just vibe with it. And it's really just showing in what they do.
Also, I just think the overall outro of this, like, I wanted to know who the fuck does that money chap, I lost my everything part at the end there where it gets singy. Got nothing left, so I pity. I am everybody's nobody all night long. I don't know if that's a sample or something, if that's like a famous song and I'm like missing the point, but I tried to Google it, I couldn't figure it out. So I was wondering if you knew who it was, because that just was a really fun and jarringly interesting way to end this song. Like, it just flips into this like old-timey, singy, fun little thing, and then it just cuts to Action Bronson being like, holy shit, you guys did a beautiful job. May I ask if we could have another number? It seems like something that should be played. You guys good. And then, you know, like, the music is going to keep going, but it's just like, he's so polite and he's so cordial and nice and reactive to this beautiful music, in almost stark contrast to the guy that you've been getting on this album being so gruff and rough. And I just like the fact that you get that, like, almost like he's a real sweetheart at the end of the day.
Right.
He's letting that poke through for a minute, which I thought was freaking great. The verse is dope too. It's a little slower, it's a little vibier, and it's nice, man. This track, the way Alchemist hits it, it's just real nice. It just flows in on this project, and I think it's definitely one of the more standout ones on this album. But tilt the goblet, steering in the middle of the couplet, Spanish bitch displayed up with some ostrich, quinceanera freak dancing, and it just flows on through. I don't know if there's like a shit ton in here that I think is super standout, but I kind of like the more shocking nature when he goes, overdo it, send your penis to your mama crib. That's what happens when you open your vagina lips. Only focused on mergers and acquisitions, commas and counts, robbing them like Gaunt. Well, you don't want a problem. I got opera lumps. And it's like, okay. So right there is don't be a hoe, don't talk a bunch of shit, it's not good. I like money, like lungs of steel. And I just think in general it's flowing through. It's really great to listen to. I personally don't have a lot more to comment on this one. I gave it a 4.5.
So I spent the last 2 minutes trying to see where the sample comes from, or if it is a sample or whatnot. I've looked up the lyrics, and there's just too many other
That's what happened to me.
things that just kind of come up or whatnot.
It took more than 2 minutes, and I'm like, fuck that.
Fair enough. But I do like, again, the title of the name is Accoutrements, which from what I understand are like accessories, right? It's like the accessories of what you have on your...
Like on your food shit. It's a food term.
I thought it was like accoutrement
It's like
in French.
additional items of dress or equipment.
Right, it's accessories.
Oh, but like in food, it's a term in specific. Like food accoutrements, I guess, are, I don't know. I guess it's just the dressings of a situation.
Right. Well, I like how, again, he sticks to it thematically. Tilt the goblet. Goblet, you would think of like a very...
I guess that's an accoutrement.
Well, I mean, it's a very fancy cup, and it's all these type of lavish things. And I just feel like it's the same type of flow with this, like, quinceanera freak dancing. Like, even quinceanera, like, that's a very big celebration for Latinas and growing up and all that stuff. So it's like, it's not so much just rich, but it's like...
Fancy,
Which
lavish. I guess that's the accoutrements. It's the fancy lavishings of a situation.
Right. So that's what I like about it. I like how there's just always this, like, my life is extra credit, sophisticated palette, like these extra bougier things that we're kind of getting into, which is what I enjoy. 4.2
Are you trying to say
5.
that Action Bronson's truly bad and bougie? Do you think he's cooking up food with an Uzi? I think he's cooking up, like, I could just picture him. See, it seems more practical to cook up a nice pot of stew with an Uzi. He does stew beef. He said it earlier on the album.
No. He's got our mothers naked cooking him stew beef.
I'm okay with
Are
that.
they cooking it with...
Look, if my mom is
Would
naked...
you let your mom cook naked with an Uzi?
Yes, if she was with Action Bronson, that would be
okay.
probably fair enough, because he would
with an Uzi with a pot.
he would take care of her. He seems like the kind of guys we'll find out somebody's a bad tipper, and he's really knows how to take care of a woman he has naked.
You're right.
So I'm okay with him being with my mother.
There's also a part where he tells somebody to shut up and roll it.
That's fine, and he is a descendant of the stars. They tried to sign your boy to a deal like a Japanese pitcher. I heard Barkley bought a Mazda for a stripper. I mean, a Mazda's a nice car and all. But according to Mr. Action Bronson, what a shitty tipper. That's where we differ. I handed her the keys to the Bimmer to uplift her. I'm like, yo, my mom could get a Beamer? I'm like, I'm just saying, if my mom wants to pursue that life, I would be a bad person to judge her.
Who are you to tell her not to?
Right? I'm not getting her a Beamer at this juncture of my life. If that gets her to fancy, do what you... The accoutrements of Action Bronson is probably nice. I don't know what he likes. Maybe my mom is the shit to him. But that would be very flattering to my mother. My stepdad might not like it, but that's not really my concern. Anyway... 11 miles up the river, there's a base camp. Played a tech. Wait, the enemy, they came and went. I'll admit I had to lay some hands. The doctor said I should be taking meds. Someone passed the weed to my mother. Tell her to roll that shit. See, he's giving it to his own mom to roll the weed. He's okay with moms rolling weed and shit. I'm just trying to say it. This was up for him. I don't can a motherfucker get a soul clap, bitch? I don't give a fuck. I'm just a growing ass kid. And I'm just like, this is really fun.
I like that.
It's like he's just a big, goofy fucking stoner kid who's living his dreams, because somehow in Action Bronson's life it just all worked out that he gets to be a giant I guess he's in his 30s now. I'm pretty sure he's in his 30s. I think he's older than me. And like he's just fucking popping, and like he has the goofiest life. Like he must have like the kind of fairy tale.
He's 35.
Yeah, he's the kind of fairy tale life that like most people made fun of him for telling them he would live one day, and then here he is shutting them the fuck up. You know, I like when he's like eyes wide shut. I control that whip. Just the way he rhymed those lines. I did an interview for GQ while taking a shit. I'm like, everything about this is just fucking great. Like just that like he's the kind of guy that can almost be repulsive and somehow flip that into cheddar and profits. And then...
But I think it's like we like Action... Well, I've started liking Action Bronson now because of the humor, because of the comedy, because he's so real with himself and just like...
I mean, I like the goofiness, but for me, a lot of it is the rhyming. I think the guy is rhyming at a top tier level, and the fact that it's so goofy just makes it not sound like everybody else. It kind of stands out in that regard.
Which is, I guess, what I'm trying to say, because it feels more natural. Like, it doesn't sound like he's really trying to sit there and write funny shit. He's just spitting, and what he naturally says is just funny.
Sounds like he's just, yeah, kind of shooting the shit. Like, my jump shot got an arc like Noah. That's clever. Antenna every kind of animal can roll up. Fair enough, because, you know, he's kind of saying he's open-minded and shits. I part water like it's just another ordinary night. And I like the fact that he keeps it biblical like that. That's actually pretty fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Still not Noah, Moses, but still biblical. Every day it's clearer that there's more to life, which is interesting because, again, that's like godlike and transcending in that spirituality. Mm-hmm. You can catch me at the Grammys rocking white sweats. It's obvious that I like sex. Yes, because if you're in sweats, you know, get your dick rubbed at strip clubs, and you know you feel it more because you're not in jeans. I don't know. I don't go to strip clubs.
Neither do I. And I went to one, and my boy got a lap dance, and I sat there. I did not even participate.
I just went to one, and I got a lap dance, and then I asked a question: "How much did this cost?" And then she's like $40, and I'm like, "I'm done. Get the fuck off. I'm over. I didn't know this was costing $40."
Bro, I've literally watched
Homeboy.
I've literally watched Homeboy spend $400 in 2 hours on the same chick lap dancing him.
I mean, you could get escort.
I mean, sure. That I don't know.
For that
strip
price.
Clubs ain't my thing. I don't. Let me know in the comments if strip clubs are your thing, if you go to them or not. What is the appeal to it?
Keep in mind, I've had this conversation. Apparently, in like Atlanta and shit like that, it'll be like Cirque du Soleil level flexibilities and shit in a real show.
Right.
In which case, and buffets. So I'm like, food and a show for like $5? Okay, I'm in.
So I guess if you're looking at it in like an artistic way,
but
sure.
Apparently some strip clubs really are like that.
Right.
I don't think Montreal's popping in that regard. I mean, maybe it is, but I don't really have a lot of interest because, again, if you get to the money level of the lap dance, you may as well pay for the escort. You could just take a girl out on a really nice date and still probably smash with greater likelihood. If you want to go clean with it, then go into a fucking strip club.
Take her to a nice restaurant, listen to everything she has to say. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little more complicated than that.
Don't be a dick.
It's still... Anyway. I still think that he's really fun. I like when he's just like, I'm on the same drugs that Hammer was on, turn the camera on. I'm like a fucking monster of the Amazon.
No.
And just the way he rhymes it all perfect, it's just amazing every single time. The chorus is just fucking dope because he's Jewish and shit, I guess. I don't know.
But I like
as a descendant of the stars, it's only right that I become one. Motherfucker. It just
I like how
flows
he's
so nice.
like embodying like legendary people, right? Like MC Hammer is a well-known legendary artist because of like it's just connecting with him. He's like, oh, the same one as Hammer. Like he could have picked any other artist, but he picked that one.
Because he's whack.
Right, but he's also a big, well-known name.
Yes. But
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, okay. Because I guess Hammer was a real gangster in the streets and a silly Billy in the music.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I like this song a lot though. I thought it sounded really cool to listen to. I gave it a 5 on 5. I thought it was pretty fucking fire.
It's a 4.2 on 5. There is an interlude, which I guess is kind of funny. They're like talking about incense and rubbing oil on each other in non-homo way, but like just I guess it's cool.
It's fine. I don't really like much of the skits, but personally I can deal with it in the sense that it really mixed well in a way where it flows, but I don't care that much about them. I still think the track, the beat, everything about the flow, it got a real chorus to it, which I thought added impact. All this was real nice. You know what?
That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at this track, and it's just got this funky, like, wavy, kind of happy beat to it. Like, you know, you just feel like old-timey, like, happiness to it. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you just feel like youthful childhoodness is flowing through it, and everybody's, like, jolly.
Jackson 5.
That's what it is. And I just kind of like how he juxtaposes that with sell coke, walk with a cane, flex the green portion, the rain, catch me at the mall with your dame, but now I ain't buying shit, but she's drinking. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. Just to have that kind of, you know, almost infantile, joyful beat mixed with him presenting himself like a fucking coke-selling pimp. I like it. Bitches be basic and they ain't shit. At least I'm famous and I ain't shit. Well, my mother loves me. I'm a baby. We still drive each other crazy. And I like that because he's kind of pointing out how a lot of people think they're fancy but they're basic. In his case, he's like, fuck it. I know I'm basic. I know I'm worthless. I know that. But that's my charm, and I feel like that really is his charm. And then he's like, his man needs a liver. I bought it off of eBay. And that's just funny because it's just pointing into the level of excess in his life. He can just buy his dude a new liver on the internet like that, you know? He started snorting Pepsi, now he's got a fiend's face. Eesh, it's bad when you get into drugs. Anyway, it's pretty fucking fun. And I like the chorus a lot, you know, you gotta be like that. That's just the way it is. You gotta raise your kids. I just wanna be a normal person, but I'm special and I understand that you wanna see me rap and do the running man. And it kinda just sounds like he's just out there trying to do his thing, and how everyone's trying to look at him in a certain way, but he's expected to almost do the running man like Hammer and shit like that, and dance in a certain way and be a certain thing in order for other people to be happy, as opposed to him just trying to live and just trying to be his own type of person. And what does he like to do as his own type of person? I'll fuck 3 bitches one day. I'm disgusting, but I'm honest. That's my favorite lyric on the whole fucking album. Toot some baby, clean your sinus. I had to take a shit inside the diners. And I'm just like, man, in 4 bars, he just puts himself into this like level of degradation that I think a lot of people really aspire to. That's probably what life on tour is like. You fuck 3 bitches in a day. You probably hide it, and then, you know, you feel like you gotta take a shit, so you go to the diner and take a shit. And that just sounds like tour. I don't know, I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
But I like how he's real about it. Like, he doesn't try to glorify it like other rappers who might talk about touring. It's like, I was on tour fucking your bitch, and this, like, they try to make it so lavish and all this fun stuff.
He's just like, nah, it's disgusting, but I love it.
Right, and I think that also kind of divides him in terms of uniqueness from where he is and like other people.
And then, you know, catch me butt naked in a green Buick, Huey Lewis in the news drinking 22s. Thinking back when I was 22 and I didn't have the stunning do. Light skin, dark skin, no skin, bitch, I'm running through.
No skin.
It's just like, I don't really care. I'll fuck anything. I'll do anything. I'm just fucking nasty. I don't know.
I think like, and again, it's more of this brutal honesty. Like, I really question a lot of the rappers who are like, yo, I gotta fuck a bitch who's a dime and a 10. And it's like, really?
Now you fucked anybody that said I'd fuck a rapper.
Right?
Like, everybody had that phase where she's like, I like rappers. And you're like, you're really? I don't mind that you're...
Suddenly you're attractive.
It's like, oh, you'll blow me?
Right?
Okay.
Just because I make music? Like, nice.
I don't have to try hard? Wow, that's fucking
You
golly.
mean I picked a career and
I
you were
mean-
like, oh, yes.
I mean, every guy has the list of people they brag about and the list of people they pretend never happened.
I mean, I guess it's the same way. I guess it's like, I'll fuck you because you, like...
You're there.
No, you wear a uniform. Like, just because you put on a uniform,
Nah,
it's like...
I mean, what I'm
oof.
trying to say is, guys pretend like they don't fuck the girls that they perceive to be the ugly chick. What I'm saying is, guys fuck the available chick, regardless. Anyway, I thought this was another dope track, and I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
I gave this a 4.2 because that's just the way it is.
Nah, and for real, the last track on this project features the homeboy Alchemist actually...
Before we go, just so you know, he's #1 in Bulgaria.
Oh, that was
right
hilarious. That was the one skit I thought was really funny because I would be like trippy. I would like if I ever went #1 in a random ass country like that, it would be like the greatest thing in my life, to be
Right.
honest. Like, I mean, sure, it'd be great to go #1 in the States, but I think it would be cooler to be like #1 in Bulgaria, even though like maybe nobody in the States gives a shit.
Right.
Like that'd be like, yeah, I'm famous there, bitch.
I so popped. Like, I'll feel
There, in that country you don't care about. That's fucking funny to me. Anyway, the last one's named after the 2 participating rappers on the project, Arnold and Danny. I feel like this is just another great track on this project. Like, this is one of those albums where, like, from track 1, you either love it or hate it the whole way through because it's short, it's 20 minutes, it's 7 songs, and every song is kind of doing the same kind of thing. And then I like how it just starts off with the #1 album in Bulgaria because it's fucking hilarious that he just kind of brings that through in the conversation as it starts.
I just want to say, Alchemist is 42.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute.
I didn't know.
I mean, he's been around for a minute. I don't know what to say to that.
Just
and then
updating everybody.
the chorus is just amazing. The la da 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 da. Like, it just sounds nice. It sounds airy over this beat.
Which, to be
it
fair,
sounds a little bit like some marijuana was being consumed.
but it's nice how, like, okay, because the whole project we've gotten like this specific type of voice from Action Bronson, and then on the la da 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 da, it's so soft, so smooth. It's like, this is where you show me your diversity. Nice.
I mean, I would say for the chorus, I guess so. It's nice, but I don't know that his diversity is really displayed with a lot of da-da-da. It's just nice that he can hit a high note chorus like that, I guess.
Right.
But I feel like then you get the verse, and it's the exact same level
Right.
of what we've been getting, and it's dope. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm feeling this shit. Because somehow the mink backflip on my back, I'm back whipping the jag that's pitch black. Shorty, like the steak number, switch that. Long as she put the drug in the shit crack, then hit the sink so she can rinse that. And it's just the way he flows it, and he hits the emphasis and the punches. And then, one of my favorite lyrics on the album, plus the bone in the steak is like a dinosaur leg. As in, it's a giant steak and he's excited to eat it. And he just flows through about, again, the lavishness and whatnot. I don't have a lot more to comment on, but I do like the pull the trigger, kind of like popping off, like those are bullet sounds flying out. That was a very cool effect. Definitely added something to the track, in my opinion.
I really like the Alchemist verse.
I like when he goes, before we get there, I saw my sister at the club getting money like bar mitzvahs, and I thought that was funny. As a Jew, I can appreciate a good bar mitzvah joke about how bar mitzvahs get you paid. And then, you know, he tells the girl, shut the fuck up and twist this, please. And then they get high. La-da-da-da-da-da-da. Moving into Alchemist. Kind of smooth, swagged out verse, too. But what were you going to say about it?
I just like it. I like the energy behind it. I like how he just kind of comes in and his voice is very, like, super smooth. Like, it was different. Like, just different in a way. But I felt like it was just kind of the same stuff. 6-foot margaritas, tank tops, Bermuda shorts. All right, you're out kind of on vacation, living nice. Murray boogie boards, aqua socks, and water sports. Ice. You out here having fun. And just like, again, more of that imagery, more of that, like, you can really kind of picture them just out on the beach, boogie boarding and having a good time. beach bummers, permanent vacation summers, ukulele strummers.
Just sounds like his life is fantastic.
Right? But I also like how this beat still also has the summer vibe to it too. Like it fits with the positive type of summer sunny vacationy feel that we're getting from this. Just doing my daily numbers like a quick pick, ride the rhythm like a lazy drummer, word to my baby brother. Like, yeah, like he's just riding through the rhythm of the track and he's not even like kind of paying attention to it. It just feels really free, really just we're having fun. And I think there's a nice aspect to when music is made out of just entertainment and fun and joy, and then really creative sitting down and trying to actually build something to move with it.
And if you just consider his life, right? He's constantly making music. He's constantly putting out beats. He's probably enjoying nice locales. He's out there just living life to his fullest, you know? Ride the rhythm like a lazy drummer. Word to baby brother. Cool lady lover. Put loaves in the oven and make it supper. It just sounds like he's chilling.
Well, it's also kind of cool, right? So, cool lady lover, put loaves in the oven, make it supper. You know, when you're like, I'm in the kitchen whipping up bars or whatever. So it's like he's putting
in the music, it just comes out, man.
Right.
I don't know. I just thought it was pretty fun, and I thought it was a great way to end the project. And I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
I gave it a 4.2 on 5.
All things considered, I really enjoyed listening to this Action Bronson and the Alchemist Lamb Over Rice experience. I gave the little album a 4.6, and I mean, when I'm listening to all these short projects, I take it with a grain of salt that it's tiny. Like, this can't be compared against the great albums of all times, but as far as EPs go, I feel like it's a short, concise, it almost is like an appetizer that, like, just satisfies your cravings. Like, if you're a big fan of Action Bronson and you've been wanting some new music, I feel like this is some quality shit, really enjoyable. The way Alchemist and him blend together, it really does, as you've said, sound like two friends having a great time creating like this cohesive album experience that really sounds like the byproduct of some good drug buddy experiences. I don't know how to describe that. Like, they had a great trip, and this album kind of came out of that drug experience. So I really enjoyed that, and I would definitely recommend this to those that like abstract, goofier lyrics.
I gave the project a 4.24 on 5. I really do enjoy it. I really like the energy that we got from it. What I really came to like is just how, and I'm repeating myself, but just how free Action Bronson seems to be with a lot of his music. Just really out there for the music itself and like just having fun. That's really it.
Fair enough. So thank y'all for watching or listening to this. We appreciate you being here with us. Feel free to leave us a comment letting us know what you thought. We'll be sure to have a discussion down there. Tell us your favorite Action Bronson project, your favorite track on this project, all the good stuff. And feel free to subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Hit that like button if you felt it. And special thanks to the patrons, Esmelka Dempsey, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Connie Sparks. They're dope. They support what we do. They helped us get a new camera. They helped us get on Spotify. They're gonna help us with a lot more things in the future. So if you want to help us get to the next level, feel free to join us there, and you get to tell us what albums to review. So expect some Patreon requests to happen all year round. So thank y'all for being with us. We make music ourselves. I put it on an album recently called The Alternative Grind. You can find it on Spotify's and iTunes and all that. Chris has one cooking up. We'll get that out to y'all soon.
Just sent the new track to Holden to get his verse.
And then, we'll get that out, put that out when we get there. And so we appreciate all of y'all being with us, all your feedback. And as the great behind that suit closing
Goodbye,
has become,
guys, I'm tired.
Live long and prosper.